Caitlin, and I'm a coach who works with women who struggle with alcohol. You already knew that because you've signed up to my video series on Drink Less Success, and this is part 2 of the video series. Part 2 is all about mindset. So in part 1, we talked about intention. We talked about getting clear on your vision and getting clear on your why. So painting that mental picture of exactly what you're working towards and how it feels to become that person. And I really hope that you took some time at the end of that video to write down your intentions for yourself and get very clear on that vision. And also to get very clear on what exactly you need to do in order to achieve that vision for yourself. Now, the second step is so important. It's all about mindset. There's so many times in my own life, in my friends' lives, in the lives of the clients and the people that I support, where we have all this energy, we have all this excitement to change, we know that we want something different for ourselves. And then the doubts start to sneak in. Then the, what if I can't do this? Then the feelings of, well, I've tried this before and I failed. Or what if I'm really not able to do this? What if I am going to fail again? What if I'm not worthy of making these changes? What if I'm not worthy of living a different life? And these fears can go even deeper, and often do. They can take us all the way back to childhood fears that we have, or to messages we've heard through our lives from other people in other relationships, maybe even things that our friends and the people that we're in relationship to are saying now. So positive mindset is really, really important in order to achieve your Drink Less success. I have a few tips that I recommend for people who are struggling around the mindset, struggling to feel like maybe I'm just not going to be able to make these changes. Maybe I'm going to keep messing up. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe there isn't something better in store. Or whatever that nagging, deep, dark feeling is that you try to stuff down, that's easier to ignore when you're drinking or when you're overworking or when you're too busy. You know, but we have those little voices that are there that can rear their ugly heads sometimes. So it's really important to make a daily practice around your positive mindset when you're going through a period of transition. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it takes time every single day to consciously think about what you're thinking about and to change the thoughts that you have around yourself. And I like to do that through a practice that I call the Thrive Threesome. So what is that exactly? The Thrive Threesome, there are 3 things that you can do every single day, and it doesn't need to take a long time. It can take 5 minutes, it can take 10 minutes, it can be part of your meditation in the morning, or it can be part of your journaling practice. 3 things that are going to help reinforce to yourself that you are worthy, that you are able to create these changes, that you can do it, and that you are deserving. So the first part of the Thrive Threesome is the practice of gratitudes. Now, I'm sure you've heard gratitudes talked about a lot. We hear it all the time. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you are. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the people around you. And it can seem like a little bit of a buzzword at times. I think sometimes people get hung up around gratitudes as well, because often when we're feeling challenged is the time when we most need to practice gratitudes, and it can be the hardest to figure out what we're grateful for. So what I recommend, particularly if you're going through a hard time, is to really be intentional, to set that time to write in your journal, or even just to sit and think about it, or even lay in bed before you get out of bed, and find 3 things, just 3 things that you're grateful for. So for me right now, it could be the feeling of the breeze on the side of my face, or it could be the warmth that I feel on my skin. It could be the fact that my hair has been growing a lot recently, and I love it, and I'm grateful for it. It could be the sound of my voice. It could be the person that I know I'm going to see a little bit later in the day. It could be a phone call that I've received, or a little bit of extra encouragement, or a smile from a stranger. The key is to find simple little things that you can focus on that help magnify this feeling of gratitude. And to do this every single day. The second part of the Thrive Threesome is to think about your desires. So we talked a little bit about intention in the last video. And sometimes it can be really difficult for us as women to get very clear on what it is that we desire, what we really want, what lights us up, what turns us on, what gets us excited. Again, we spend a lot of time thinking about what we don't want, and it can be really hard to think about what we do want. So it's an incredible practice if every single day you spend a little bit of time thinking about what it is that you desire. And these don't have to be huge, life-changing things. It doesn't have to be $1 million in the bank or a vacation to Tahiti or whatever it is. Your desires are your own personal desires, and it can be whatever you feel in that moment. For me, in this moment, I desire more dance. I'm a dancer, I love to dance, and I haven't been dancing that much recently, so that is one of my desires for myself. I desire every day to eat nourishing, delicious food, and to have time to cook it, because I don't often. So that's a desire of mine. Another desire of mine is to laugh more. I find myself getting serious, and I want to make sure that I am still playful and I'm taking time to enjoy the moments. So again, these desires are very much just grounded in what's going on for me on any given day. Now, of course, I have other desires for myself, for my business, for my family, for my career. But again, making the practice of desires can be a really, really simple exercise. And the third part of the Thrive Threesome is to brag. I learned about brags through two incredible women, one whose name is Dara McKinley, and I was very fortunate to participate in a couple of retreats with her in Mexico. And she introduced me to the work of Mama Gina, who talks a lot about brags. They also talk a lot about desire, but specifically about brags. And again, as women, we don't really talk about what we're great at. Men seem to be really, it comes really easily to them. They can brag about anything, what they're good at, what they did, what they didn't do. They're very comfortable talking about themselves. As women, we often tend to tone down our accomplishments a lot. And we don't allow our greatness to shine through. We don't allow our light to shine through. So the third part of your Thrive Threesome is to brag, is to write down for yourself 3 things that you have done or that you feel or that you are every single day. And you can start that sentence with, I brag that, and then fill in the blank. Again, when we're going through a hard time and we're facing a lot of doubts and we have fears coming up or we think that we're not going to be able to accomplish something or do something, it can be really hard to brag about what we're good at or what we're proud of. So this is extra important to really, again, sit down and be intentional about finding what those things are. Finding what makes you proud, what makes you happy, what you appreciate about yourself, and doing it every single day. So again, I'll use an example from today. I brag that even though I had a really busy day at work today, I found time to take a break in the middle of the day, go spend some time with my daughter, and make a delicious smoothie. That could actually be 3 brags. I brag that I made a delicious smoothie and nourished my body. I brag that I took a break from work, and I brag that I had fun playing with my daughter. So again, it doesn't have to be this lofty, huge thing that you've accomplished. It's about finding the things that you've done that you can be proud of on a daily basis. So again, the Thrive Threesome, practicing gratitude daily, locating your desires, and giving yourself permission to write down your desires on a daily basis, and bragging on a daily basis, finding those things that you've done today, yesterday, and tomorrow, because you're going to do this every single day for at least a week, and writing those things down and celebrating those things about yourself. So you might be wondering, what does this have to do with my goals around alcohol? What does this have to do with learning moderation, or whether or not I should be sober or not? And it has everything to do with it. You're going to have to trust me on this one. Because again, I can give you all the tips and the strategies in the world, but unless you do the inner work, unless you really work on what's hidden underneath all of these layers, unless we start uncovering that and really building the solid foundation for your Drink Less success, you could have all the strategies in the world, and it's likely that you're going to keep repeating the same patterns. So that's your Drink Less success tip for today. And make sure to tune in to the third one, which is part of the 3 strategies that will really, really help build your foundation for your Drink Less success.